Bryant's Family Medicine All Sports Media presents the Wednesday Sliders. I'm Edward Hall alongside Mark Rigger. Mark, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. Um, Sort of going back and forth, keeping an eye on this all A game, and I'm just hanging in there. I'm dealing it with a pretty mean virus, Edward. I'll be honest with you. So I warn you all ahead of time. If you see me go on mute, the camera go off, I'm gonna probably be taking about a 14-minute hacking spell. Been eating a lot of these and taking a lot of antibiotics and just that time of year, I guess, and having been sick since about last Thursday, but I'm battling with it.
I understand that. It's that time of the year, but I'm kind of excited about this all A. I'm excited to see who's going to come out on top this year. But on top of that, we got a couple of good guests coming on today. Gonna be some great interviews. One of our guests, unfortunately, they rescheduled a game for him today, so he wasn't capable of making it on today.
Yeah, that's um, they scheduled a game, and we're gonna have weather here all week for sure, and a lot of rain, a lot of um, a lot of cancellation. Now tomorrow night, again, it's not looking good either, Edward. They're giving some nasty a chance for some nasty storms tomorrow evening. So I guess a lot of these schools thought that well we'll try to get some games in today because it don't look too good to have too many games tomorrow.
All right, man, I agree. It's what I'm looking at right now is the weather. It's looking like we're gonna get a chance of some more nasty weather. So I mean, there's probably gonna be some more postponed games, cancellations, maybe some reschedules. But this has probably been one of the wildest seasons I've seen. It's all been nothing but rain. And to try to get a game in, it's been pretty rough here recently.
Yeah, I'm starting to hear you better though. I don't know if it's on my part. Maybe some of the viewers can comment on there. Is it me or is it Edward here? But I'm starting to hear you a little bit better for sure. What you did this last time. I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's my internet, your internet. I gotta love all this mountain internet stuff, and of course we do this stuff live. We do it on on the deal. But now on their all A game here, Jackson County was down 5-3, I believe, going into the bottom of the seventh inning. Two strikes. I mean, two strikes, two outs, and if I think I saw this right and viewed it right, it looked like maybe one of the Jackson girls had stole home to tie the game, and now it seems like they blowed it wide open here on the bottom. It's going into the bottom of the ninth. Pineville's up to bat, but they're down by 4 runs right now. Jackson can't put a 4 spot on them here on the top of the ninth. So then you got a really good game next game too. I believe it's Harlan and Millsboro. So that'd be another good one.
Yeah, it'd be another thriller of a game, and it's just looking forward to this weather kind of clearing up for these games to be able to happen because there's a lot of district play getting ready to come up. I'm looking forward to some of the districts, and we'll go ahead and
And
bring our first guest on, Mark. Madison, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Master, maybe you can answer my question before Edward does his thing. Is it my internet or is it Edward's internet? Who's glitching here? He's thinking it's me. I'm thinking it's him.
Well, none of y'all are glitching right now, so.
Oh,
So it's probably just a sign of your old age, Mark. You was just hearing what you wanted to.
okay. Well, maybe Edward's got his fixed now.
But first
We'll
off, I
blame
do I
Edward.
do want to thank you. Yeah, all else failed, blame Edward, right?
Madison, can we
But first
can we
off,
blame Edward? She said she'll think about it.
well, somebody commented and
It's
said it was
Edward.
me.
Haha, thank you. Thank you.
But first off, I do want to thank you for coming on. I know you've got school night, and you've got a game. I think, if I'm not mistaken, tomorrow, as long as the weather holds out. And
Yep.
you do. I think it's Lincoln County that you travel to. Am I correct?
Yep.
So have you had a chance to look into them this season?
No, not really. Like we've talked about them at practice, but we haven't really like dug in and figured out what they've been doing lately.
So I did make a couple drafts, and before I let Mark go into asking a few questions, I am going to pull up one of them here, and this one right here is kind of more or less like like a stat graphic. So
Yeah.
right now, Mark, I wouldn't ask you to read it because you can't see it, but she's got 12 strikes, 10 RBIs, one home run, two doubles, 8 hits on 14 games. That's just in this season alone, Mark. But Madison, I just got to ask you, how do you perform like that? Game in, game out.
Um, Really just working like as hard as I can during practice and focusing on the game and just keeping my head in the game instead of thinking about other things.
So, Mark, before I go in with bombarding her with a lot of questions, I'll go ahead and let you ask yours.
Madison, thank you for coming on. I know this is probably stepping out of your element a little bit because Edward's more like worldwide Edward. I'm more a 13th region person, but for us here in the 13th region, just tell us a little bit about Garrett County.
Um, I don't know. Like, what do you mean? Like, just about
Just
sports or?
just about your sports, your school, in whole.
We really do take pride in softball. Football's yeah, but we do take pride in all our sports, and we play as hard as we can every game, going in with the right mindset.
Well, I specifically remember a really good player coming from your school that might transferred to another school, but I get that's a different story for a different day. But you might know who I'm talking about.
I'm only a freshman, so I don't
Oh,
really
okay,
know.
okay, but well, he's I guess he's a junior, so you would have been maybe seventh grade or something then. But um, just thoughts of your season and how it's gone. We watched you up there at Somerset, and was really impressed with your team, really impressed with you in particularly, and hey, you got a really nice team going. But just thoughts of your season right now.
Well, our pitcher recently got hurt, so we're kind of like restarting basically and getting everyone in positions that they need to play and finding where everyone belongs again. So we're just filling in spots, but I think it's going pretty good right now.
Again, I'm sort of 13th. Edwards Worldwide Ed, he'll be bringing guests from China before it's over with. But tell us a little bit about your region and who you consider rivals and who you want to beat and all that good stuff.
I think the people that we're really focused on beating is Lincoln and Boyle and East probably or West.
So who's all in your district?
Um, I know there's us, Danville, Lincoln, the Jessamine County teams. I don't know who else.
That's a really really good team. But yeah,
That's a
when
pretty
you
rough district right there.
Yes, that is. And yeah, when you spoke about Bull, that's the guy I was thinking about. He transferred to Bull County, but um, just how many times had you been to Somerset, and what you think about that field?
My foot, like, I don't know, whenever I'm pitching, it just kind of slides. So it's a little rough because I'm used to dirt. So we had to pull out the rubber cleats again. So that was fun.
Hmm.
But I think it's a nice field. Yeah. The ball kind of blends in sometimes. But
Well, how much different is it playing on turf and instead of a natural surface?
well, it's kind of harder to dig your foot in and like really get going whenever you're playing on turf compared to dirt. You got metal cleats and you can really just dig your feet in and go.
Does it play faster or they that really that be much of a difference?
I don't think it's that much of a difference. The turf might be a little bit slower, but not a lot.
Oh, the turf is slower. Oh, I thought I would think it would be faster. That's a good answer. But I could talk to you all night. Edward.
So, one of my first questions, I'm actually looking at a little bit of your schedule, and I think you all just played in, is it the CSI Lady Cat Invitational?
Yeah.
So, give me your thoughts on playing and hit, like the teams that you had seen, and like how's that going to help you out going into district play?
I think it's really getting us used to like faster pitching and going against different speeds and being able to adjust to their players, like field wise.
So I did get to see you pitch a few innings up there at Somerset. So this is a question I got to ask you. A guy that just muted himself, that he calls himself Chief Nakahoma. Do you think he could hit one of your fastballs?
Um, I don't know. We might just have to find out. My dad can't hit off me, so
Well, if he can't, then I know for sure he can't because he don't even know what he's doing half the time.
it's okay. Me neither.
But right, man, I seen you pitching, and you said you ain't had like you ain't been, what is it called, radared in a
Mm,
minute to check your top out speed. The last time you was, how fast was you pitching it?
like 55 maybe, but that was in like eighth, seventh grade. So,
Seventh grade, throwing at 55. See, Mark, you ain't got a chance hitting her fastball. You might as well go ahead and give it up.
Well, I could get hit by her fastball, not hit the fastball. Step into
as long as you get on base, I mean.
it. See, she
Hey, look,
agrees.
she said she was more than welcome for you to come up there and try to take a few fast pitch fast pitch swings. But after the season's over with, what all do you do in the off season to be able to, you know, maintain and to, get better for the next season?
Um, well, most of the time I just join like travel teams that need extra players, like just be a pickup player.
So you said travel ball.
Yeah.
So I've always got to ask this question when I hear, an athlete speak of travel ball, because back in my time going play in high school, they didn't really have nothing like that. They didn't have none of the AAU or travel ball. But so, what's the biggest difference in playing travel ball compared to the high school level?
Um, for me, like you never know where you're gonna play because I don't stick to one team. I just kind of move and bounce around so I can get to know other people and learn how they play. So you just never really know where you're gonna play. So you just have to be ready and know what to do in every spot.
So I've seen you come up to the plate. I've seen you. Do you call it the mound or do you call it the pitcher's circle?
the mound.
So, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer striking somebody out, or do you prefer knocking the long ball and just sending it over the fence?
Probably striking someone out because a home run, like I can get on base off a grounder. So
Well, I couldn't even see half the pitches, so there's no way I'm knocking one over. So I'd probably have to try to strike somebody out too, but I ain't gonna get it to them. But mine'd be going in the dirt every time. I'd walk everybody. But Mark, I see you over there.
Well, I've got a 5 minute pause here that I'm not hacking. Madison, I've been living on these for about a month now, so it's not my internet that's that awful. It's just every time you see the camera go off, I'm in a corner sitting there hacking my lungs up. So hopefully you just don't hear this on that live broadcast. But um, Madison, I don't know if this has been covered yet, but some of the upperclassmen, how have they helped you be the player you are today?
they really they're really good at pushing you to where they think you need to be and just really getting you there and giving you tips on how to get there without being like discouraging, things like that.
Is it strictly just softball for you, or the other sports?
Yeah, I play volleyball too.
So are they one that you lean heavier than the other, or do you like them both equally?
I'm definitely leaning more towards softball because volleyball isn't like my main sport. I just kind of do it to stay like active, I guess.
Well, I mean, I would almost about could answer this, but maybe you can answer this for us. But how would volleyball help you be a better softball player? Is it just the constant work with the legs and maybe the spike in motion and stuff?
Yeah, so in volleyball, we still have to work out and everything. So it's gaining muscle and we have to run a lot. So it's gaining speed also.
Um, Gotta ask you this. I think I might almost have this answered for you. I know Edward asked you if you liked hitting the long ball or striking, but me, I'm a trash talk specialist. If I beat Edward one on one in a game of basketball or something like that, I'm gonna, while he's over there in the corner, crying, I'm gonna sit there and jack him up pretty good. Are you that type, or you just go about your business and or do you consider yourself a trash talker, or do you just go about your business?
Well, eighth grade me was a whole different, but now I'm kind of like leaning towards, okay, you did that. That's that. Go encourage your team and cheer them on to do it too.
Hmm. So, there ever been a moment maybe you struck somebody out? You like well, you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but there ever been a moment you struck somebody out? You wanted to point at them like, come on, you can't hit this.
Well, I mean, if they're talking bad, then I might point at them, but I'm not gonna say nothing bad about.
Well, things are different, but just like again, we saw how your team performed and stuff, and just tell us what your team needs to do for you to be able to get to your ultimate goal, and I'm sure that's win a region, get to state, and stuff like that. I mean, what do you have to do to improve yourself to get to that point?
Right now we are working on hitting because the whole team's kind of in a slump right now. It's kind of bad. And then communicating more on the field.
Absolutely. And again, the weather tomorrow. I think the weather yesterday, and it's rained off and on here all day today at my house. But has that slowed the maybe your schedules down some as far as being able to get all your practices in and all that stuff?
Yeah, so if a game gets canceled, we just go have hitting practice or fielding practice. But most of the time it gets canceled for weather, so we're indoors.
Okay, Hayward.
So I've always got a couple of questions that I have to ask everybody. So the first one is, what would be if it can be travel ball, high school ball, whichever one. What has been your most favorite game to play?
Probably the first game of eighth grade night. No, not eighth grade night. Eighth grade year, first game. We played Berea, I think. And that was whenever I first got my home run, like my first ever home run. So it really just put like all of us in a good mood. We were all happy to be out there. No one was really worried about winning or losing or anything.
I mean, if I got my first home run, I mean, that would definitely be the highlight. Yeah.
Well, I used to
So,
knock them out by the dozen, but
see, I told you he calls himself Chief Knock a Home, and he can't even see the balls coming at him. So, I mean, she told me she's willing for you to come up there and she'll strike you out.
Does it count if like you're pitching to me, I just step in there and like put the bunt down? Could I say that I
I thought
actually
you
hit
only
one of your pitches? Well, I couldn't see that. I'm talking about 20-year-old version. But if I like lay a bunt down, could I say I actually hit one of your pitches?
if you can make it to first.
I'm not hitting one of her
But you,
pitches. Then I could see me taking off running and falling face first, and then she probably would trash talk me. Then she'd probably kick some dirt on me or something.
listen, as long
Yeah,
as you can put Taco Bell on
she's
first
thinking
base,
about it. She's thinking about it.
listen, all you got to do is think that there's Taco Bell on first base mark, and I believe you can get there.
Madison, do you like Taco Bell?
Yes. We get that usually during tournaments, like if we have a break, that's usually what we go get.
So what do you get when you go to Taco Bell?
Either a chicken quesadilla or a crunch wrap supreme.
I like the Crunch Wrap Supremes. Oh yeah, yeah. They got online deals like $5.99 where you get like a Crunch Wrap Supreme and a soft taco and cheesy fiesta potatoes and a drink.
Yeah, I might have to look that up next time we go.
Listen, you get him talking about Taco Bell, he'll never
Yeah,
touch.
yeah.
I had to take the blame for that because I was just telling you how to get first, Mark.
Well,
But
now
yeah,
Ever lives across the street from like one of the best little taco places ever. He probably won't agree with me on.
you talking about Taco Casa?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, well, when you can catch it open,
yeah.
it
Or
opens
that.
while I'm at work, closes when I'm at work.
Yeah.
But yeah, outside of food, what in the games that you have played, who's been like the best person you have played against?
Mm. Probably Marion County's pitcher because she just doesn't like think about it. She just throws it. So like you don't see it coming out of her hand until it's at the plate. And you're like, oh, there it is. So that's not fun.
So I got to ask you, 'cause, I know you said that you all seem like y'all might have been in a little bit of a hitting slump right now. But on April 6th, when we seen you up there, if I ain't mistaken, is April 6th, up there at Somerset, y'all put up 13 runs for pretty quickly. So
Yeah.
like how
Well, in games we played before, like we were kind of just hitting like little grounders, line drives, like not what we usually do. So we got to work on that, like getting back into our routine.
so my next question, and this one's probably always been one of my favorite because because even when I was back in high school, I had a game highlighted. Is there a certain game that you or your team together has got highlighted on your schedule that's a game you're looking forward to playing the most?
Probably either tomorrow's game or Rockcastle or Boyle because Rockcastle, I feel like we're about the same, but they beat us last time, so we're like, And then the district games, obviously.
So talking about district games, I know you all are like friends off the field, but on the field, is there, like Mark saying, is there like a little bit of trash talk before the game and all that?
Like with other teams?
Yeah, like your district teams, because I know you all are like friends and stuff off the field, but like before the game, are there like a little bit of trash talking, like saying, "Listen, I'm gonna strike you out, and you're never gonna touch the ball, or I'm gonna hit home runs off of you," or
Well, I feel like sometimes, but they won't say it to us. Like, I feel like everyone's out to beat us. Like, we're out to beat them, obviously, but so they're going to do whatever they can.
makes sense. So I've got one more graph to show you, and this one right here, Mark always tells me he likes them, but the guy over there dancing, it's kind of hard for me to believe him half the time. So I want to get your opinion on it, on your thoughts.
Okay. That looks good.
Well, I do appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And, after the show's over with, I will be releasing that. I will send that, to you, because that will be yours to be able to, do whatever you want to with. I'll be releasing it on my page, the page, our Facebook pages. So, but I do appreciate you for saying things like that. I can't always believe Mark, because sometimes he likes to stretch truth a little bit.
Well, in that segment, I heard about 2 words you said. I don't know if that's again my internet. Madison, help me out. I don't know what's going on. What's going on with this screen all of a sudden?
Mine?
Oh, there we go now. But yeah, um, I didn't hear much about what Edward said right there. I don't know if it's my internet or his internet. Were you hearing him good that time?
No.
Okay. Yeah, you're cutting out like really bad at this point. But Edward will get it fixed. I'll tell you, Edward is Mister Fix It. I don't know if you ever watched a movie MacGyver, but that was like maybe way before your time. But as long as this guy had some duct tape and some super glue, he could build a car with it. I mean, so Edward's like the next MacGyver. But Madison, just honestly, great interview. You're light years above, again, the grade that you're in. I love the discussion about, especially the Taco Bell stuff. But in all seriousness, thank you for coming on. Sky's the limit for you and your team. Keep in touch with us. I mean, every now and then, send us some stats over or something like that, so we can help better promote you the way that you deserve it, and just keep the work up, and sky's the limit for you.
Thank you.
All right, well, whenever Mark comes back on here.
I'm back. I had to take a 2-second coughing.
Right.
That's a great interview. It's a great interview.
Well, can you
And
hear
it
me
was
any better
fun.
now?
A little bit better. You just normally this stuff happens to me, but it's finally some of that's happening to you now. But great interview with Madison, and um, it it's really fun to be able to reach out to all these student athletes, and I'm hacking again.
It is, while Mark's hacking over there, it is always fun to reach out and get to talk to all these student athletes. Get to hear from them, get to hear, you know,
Yeah, and just and we've got super suit athletes here in the 32 region. But as we just found out there from Madison, the sky's the limit for that young suit athlete right there, and her team. They looked really good there the other day in Somerset. And what can you say about that field? That field was wow. I just you just don't see that.
And
Uh,
about a super athlete, Mark, we got another super athlete right here. We're getting ready to bring on.
Uh,
Emily, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I'm
Uh,
glad to be.
if I'm not, well, I do appreciate it. And if I'm not mistaken, you just had, what, wasn't it a game today?
Oh yeah, yeah. We had a game today.
Well, was it late? Was the weather kind of dry?
Well, it was actually kind of damp today. Not gonna lie, it was kind of little cold, but in some uh parts it was kind of humid though, a little bit. But yeah, it was kind of damp since it hadn't
So,
rained.
do you prefer like those more cooler nights, or do you prefer like the more like hotter nights?
Well, I like those like kind of hot days because I would rather be hot. When you're cold, you can't really throw the ball, but I'd rather be hot than cold.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. Are you're is it a seventh grader or eighth grader?
I'm a seventh grader. I'm 12 years old. Yeah, yeah.
Mark, I'm fixing to show you some stats. She's just seventh grade. Remember this now. So with some of those pictures, I actually threw a couple graphs together, and this one right here is getting ready to be a stat graph that I'm getting ready to pull up for you. So right now, her average is 353. She's got 5 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, 1 triple, 12 hits off from 12 games. So I've just got to ask you, what do you have to do to be able to perform on a level like that, especially, going against some of the competition that I'm looking at your schedule here that you had to go against?
Well, it does take a lot of practice. It takes practice at team practice, and you got to put in the time at home too. So, I usually go home from practice and hit on the tee, and do some drills at home. And that's just what it takes.
And so I got to ask you, on the off season, what do you do to be able to, you know, keep yourself in rhythm for softball?
Well, there's sometimes that I do volleyball. So sometimes we do conditioning there in the wintertime, and then softball starts up, which does do we do conditioning there too. So that helps me keep in shape for softball and volleyball both. So
So, you being a multi-sport, student athlete, how hard is it to adjust from, you said volleyball, so how hard is it to adjust from playing volleyball to going into playing softball?
well, it's kind of hard a little bit, but well, I'm gonna tell you a funny story real quick. So I was in a game and I had to dive for volleyball. My softball slid to the volleyball instead of diving. So that was that just shows you how hard it is to adjust. So yeah, since you're in that rhythm of already sliding in like softball, so it takes some time to adjust to that new kind of, I guess, sliding.
But I mean, it makes sense. I'll be the first one to tell you. If I had to slide either way, if it's softball or playing volleyball, when I slide, I'm not getting back up. I'm breaking a hip or something. But you know, I've I got to see you perform a couple times up there. At Somerset, and you was, if I'm not mistaken, you was playing catcher at that time. So I've got to ask you, when you're back there, how hard is it to focus and catch some of those pitches? Because I've seen some of them come with a lot of like speed that way. So how hard is it to be able to judge where they're coming?
Well, I just put my glove out there and like I watch her go through her motion and kind of track the ball as it comes across the plate. And sometimes I'll like kind of move my glove to like where it might curve so that I can get a good catch on it.
But Mark, before I asked all the questions.
Well, Emily, first off, I'm sure Edward's already said this, but thank you for coming on. I'm having a bad night. Edward's having a bad night. Edward's having internet glitches. I can't breathe. I'm taking 17,000 coughing episodes. I'm living on these suckers right here. So my internet's working fine. I just can't breathe from coughing so much. But allergies hit me hard. Well, maybe 43 years down the line from now, they might start affecting you, but you're pretty good for now. So, but I know he was talking a little bit to you about playing catch. You're relatively young. I know your body's healthy, but does that bang you up? I mean, just to bruise you up. That's pretty rough position to play.
Oh yeah. Listen, you don't know how many bruises I got, okay? I've got stuff on my ankles. Yeah, I got stuff like on my thighs and stuff. It's pretty rough. Not gonna lie. But gotta power through that. And
Well, I gotta ask you a question. I believe you're pretty tough. If I think I'm getting to know you by the interview, but have you ever had it to happen? You had a girl coming down the third base line, and she ain't gonna move. She's gonna hit you like a freight train, and if you know that this is gonna happen, you the top that just gonna hit her back, or you gonna like sidestep or tag her.
well, I'll try to tag her, but there was sometimes you just couldn't move out of the way. She was already there, and you know I've got hurt a couple times doing that, but that's just something I got to work at and stuff like that. So
So what you're saying, you're not gonna shy away from the shot. If they're gonna do it, you're gonna be right there, right, covering plate.
oh yeah.
Well, just again, Edward's more worldwide ed. We call it worldwide ed, but I'm more of a 13th region. And just tell us a little bit about your team that we're not really familiar about in this part of the world. Tell us a little bit about your region and your district and stuff like that.
Well, our team is still young. We got seven players playing ball, and nothing against that. We're just young and we're learning. Our pitcher is a senior, and we got two seniors actually on our team. Ava Sloan and Gigi. Uh, and um, so our district, we're 53rd district. We're actually in that tournament. Um, so and yeah, we're just a growing team, and we're looking to prosper a lot here and this year.
Um, I wanted to ask you too, and was that your first trip to Somerset, or had you been there before? Maybe your thoughts of that field.
Well, I had never particular field before, but I had been to play in Somerset. But that field, I played on a turf field, but the fact that it was purple, I liked that. But just, I didn't have any problem with it. I just got the feeling of the turf and how slick it was. it's kind of different than dirt. You don't have as good of a grip on turf as you do on. So that's just a change that you gotta adjust to real quick when you play on turf.
Does it play that much more differently?
Yeah, it really does. Because whenever you're trying to block up the ball behind the plate, you kind of slide more than you want to than you do dirt than on turf. So it's kind of different.
I gotta ask you this. We've been to several, lots of softball games. Or do you like it called softball or fast pitch?
Softball, I've never caught.
Okay. Well, we've been to a lot of softball games, and of course, a lot of baseball games too. And the differences you'll see in the softball from the baseball, the chants that they'll come out of some of the dugouts is that something that you and your teammates work on, or is it just something that comes normal during the game?
Oh yeah, we practice as much as we do actual softball.
Are they? And you don't have to answer this, or you don't have to go in detail about it or anything. I don't want to get you in trouble. Are they ever a chant that maybe it was chanting that the coaches was like, no, 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 that's too much,
Well, whenever we tell them like you've already thrown two balls, just remind them that, just like kind of agging it onto them. Our coach kind of says, "All right, girls, that's enough."
Well, I mean, I always saw a chant like "rah rah rah," kick them in the knee. You know how you could, but they probably wouldn't like that type of chant, would.
Yeah, yeah, he'll let us do it for a little bit, but then whenever we start doing a little bit too much, he's like, "All right, girls, you can calm down."
At least she's brutally honest. Great interview, Emily. Edward.
So I gotta ask you, because I know you just had, a middle school game. So how hard is it to juggle between playing a middle school game and playing on the varsity level?
Well, it's actually not that hard, but since we do have a lot of high school games scheduled, it is kind of hard to move from high school to middle school a lot because we did have a middle school game planned tonight, but since it got canceled, I was able to easily come here and play. So it kind of a little bit, but I do have some troubles now and then trying to go from place to place and play.
So I heard Mark asking you, about the turf field, and you said it about dirt. Which one do you prefer to play on?
Dirt, 100% dirt.
Is it just because it feels that much better, or is it just
Well, on turf, you got turf shoes. So on with cleats, you kind of get those little spikes on the cleat. Like they kind of help you. Like I don't know, they give you a better, I guess, position like field. Like you can dig those cleats into the dirt and have like a better stance on the dirt than you can on turf since you can't dig those cleats into the ground.
So I've seen you as a catcher, and I've seen you as a hitter. What all other positions do you play in softball?
Well, sometimes I do play shortstop, but I don't have a lot of experience there since I normally play catcher. But I sometimes play shortstop and maybe third sometimes.
So out of all of them, which one do you like the most?
Catcher. Yeah.
So me as a catcher, I know there'd be a few pitches that get through my way that I'd probably want to accidentally miss. So have you ever had a ump behind you that you knew that it was a strike that you had caught, but have you ever just wanted to duck and just let one of them bounce up?
maybe one time. I, I'm not sure myself, but
I did have one for Emily, if you didn't mind me to interrupt you there, Edward. Uh, again, you don't have to answer this. I'm not trying to get you in trouble or anything like that. But um, when you're catching games and you think this girl's going to get a hit on you or whatever, are you the type to say, hey, look at that bird right there? Oh, what is that? What is that? To try to distract them when they're up there at bat,
Uh,
or even are you allowed to even do that?
no, no, I'm not allowed to do that because let's just say that my coach would kill me.
So the coaches would get you. So I didn't know if the ump would allow you to like try to distract them or not.
Oh,
Like, oh, look at that UFO right there. Somebody throw a strike right down the middle or something.
yeah,
Okay, I would try something like that. I just would.
yeah. So, well, some kids that I know on some of these things, I'm my friend, so I wouldn't want to do that.
So I've got a couple more questions for you. Now these are probably some of my favorite questions to ask. But through the time that you've got to play, softball, what has been your favorite game that you have played in so far?
Well, I think it would be our first game against Pike Central at Pike Central.
I still read the article. Maybe I might be wrong. Emily, maybe you can educate me on this, but Pike Central's got a pretty good pitcher there. Am I right?
You're
Read
right.
an article, maybe what 2,000 strikeouts. Am I right, or was it 1,000 strikeouts?
Well, I haven't really that, but very good picture. I can like that.
Yeah, I saw. I believe I saw an article on there. Maybe 1,000 strikeouts. I say 2,000, I believe.
So who has been like the best person or your most favorite person to play against?
Oh, let's see. Um, I would say probably. Can I say names? Or
You can.
I liked playing Avery Ratliff at Perry. She's a good hitter, and she's just a good player in general, and she's a great player and a great teammate because I've played with her myself. She's just a good player to play against and play with.
I got you. So I got one more for you before I show you another graph that I got for you. But you know, I know how I was during sports, but is there a certain game that maybe it can be just you or your team as a whole has highlighted that you're waiting to play in that game more than any of the others?
Well, I'm just looking forward to the next game on the schedule. We want to play every team just like as hard as we can and just as best as we can, and we want to win. We want to win every game.
Well, that's a good answer.
Mhm.
But I've got this graph from the pictures that I got, and Mark always tells me he likes them, but I want to get your opinion on because I can't always listen to what Mark says over there.
I don't like 'em. I don't know.
No, that's pretty. I like that.
Well, I do appreciate it.
So you make
And after, yeah, I made that, and that's actually going to be yours right after the show. I'll send it to you. So that way you can do whatever you want to with it, and I'll be posting it on the pages and stuff like that also. But you know, I do want to again, thank you for coming on. And Mark, if you got anything else,
Before it ever closes it off, basically the same time I was telling Mass, and keep in touch with us, Emily, and send us some stats every now and then. Let us help promote you, and you deserve it. Your team deserves it. People need to look at you and your team, and that's what we're for. We're here to help, and if we could help you reach your dreams, and then we did our jobs, and we've seen enough product on the field. Not only by your team but you individually. You're a really really good player, and sky's the limit for you. You've got a really bright future in this, as long as that's what you want to do, as long as it's fun, and just keep on keeping on. If I was in seventh grade and I was playing varsity ball, and I'm not trying to corrupt your mind or anything like that, but I'd be walking the hallways. I'm in the varsity, I was like, oh, you ain't, Edward, you're not. I am. No, honestly, I'm not trying to blow you up, but that's something you should feel really, really good about yourself. That shows the hard work, the commitment, the dedication that you put in that personally to be able to do that. So just keep on keeping on. Like I said, shoot us some stats every now and then. Edward's pretty good with putting together some things, and just keep in touch, and can't wait to see what comes out of you and your team's future.
I appreciate that. Thank you all. That means a lot.
And I mean, it's the truth. I mean, everything he said was the truth. Sky's the limit. We seen you firsthand. Being in seventh grade, being on varsity. When I was in seventh grade, I can't even tell you. Yeah, I don't even know if I was playing the seventh grade ball yet. I don't even know if I was playing in middle school yet. But
Well, well,
that's a huge accomplishment.
well, Emily, I could tell you my seventh grade nightmare. I made my seventh grade basketball team. First day of practice, went for a rebound, come straight down, broke both them fingers, missed the whole season.
Holy.
Yeah, yeah, that's my seventh grade nightmare.
Yo. Well, I can say in my 7 years of playing softball, I have never gotten hurt one time. I've never got hurt.
Well, you must be pretty tough playing the high catcher position. So normally the meanest. I gotta ask you this. That just hit me all of a sudden. I know you ain't the backer type. Are you the type that's up there chomping the sunflower seeds or the gum or something like that?
I like sunflower seeds. I ain't much. I like sunflower seeds.
The normal sunflower seeds, or like the ranch flavor or barbecue or.
I like ranch. I like ranch.
So the whole home plate there's got sunflower shells everywhere, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So the umpire, he ain't sweeping off the dirt, he's sweeping off the shells, right? Okay.
But both of those graphs, I will end up sending them to you, so they are yours. You can do whatever you want to with them, and I will post them on our pages and stuff. But you know, Emily, like he said, the sky's the limit for you, and keep in touch, send us some stats and stuff like that. I'm more than willing to make a few more drafts for you if that's what you want. And I do want to thank you again for taking the time and come on and get to talk with us. And I'm sorry you had to deal with Mark, again.
Uh,
You
but
all,
I bet you Emily likes Taco Bell too, right?
I love Taco Bell.
See,
I love Taco Bell.
see. Emily's cool. She's got seventh grade. She got a mind of a 50-year-old. I mean, she's mature above her years. Well, I'm 50. You got a mind of a seventh grader, something like that. She's seventh grader.
I worry about him sometimes. I'm sorry you had to deal with him. I mean, I worry about him a lot. I've been trying to figure him out for over 35 years and can't figure him out.
It's okay.
But Emily, I do appreciate you, coming on. I'm looking forward to seeing what your future holds for you and your team. And again, I do want to just thank you, and the sky's the limit for you.
Absolutely.
Thank you all. That means a lot. That really does. I'm lucky I get to come on here. I'm thankful that you all asked me to come on here and have you all interview me. I'm glad.
Well, I do appreciate you accepting the invite to come on. I mean, it's been a blast, and love getting to talk to you, getting to a little bit more about you. It's been fun. Mark, you got anything else for we?
No, just keep on keeping on.
All right. Well, Emily, I sure do appreciate you,
All right. Thank you.
and thank you.
Great interview right there.
It was, and I mean, again, I showed you some of those stats. I mean, again, seventh grade, Mark. I mean,
Yeah.
we had a freshman on earlier, seventh grader on just now. I mean,
Well, you had Madison and Emily, both of them stepping out of their element. I'm sure that they might have been interviewed in other locations. I'm not saying I don't know, but both these young student athletes, they stepped out of their element, zero nerves, did something that I know when I'm doing a live interview, you know how I am, Edward. I mean, honestly, I get nervous, and I've did hundreds of interviews. I still get nervous each and every interview. Both these young student athletes, they step out of their element and they don't glitch. It's just wow.
I mean, I agree. I agree with you 100%. The sky's the limit for both of them. And like I said, I'm looking forward to actually, you know, covering them throughout the remainder of the season and their career in softball. That way we can see how much more they elevate. But I did also bring some a little new along the table here, Mark, and I'm gonna bring out some rankings here.
And folks, I have no idea about these. This is beyond. We were talking about stepping out of your element. This is out of my element. It's out of my element.
So this is the Bryant Family Medicine All Sports Media
I'm like
Statewide Baseball Top
I'm like
10.
1-3. But no. Go ahead, Edward.
But number one is Bowling Green at 17-0. Number two is Greenwood 10-0. Number three is McCracken County at 8-3. Number four is Boyd County at 8-1. Number five is Trinity at 13-3. Number six is Taylor County at 8-0. Number seven is Corbin at 9-2. Number eight is Simon Kenton at 11-1. Number nine is Clay County at 11-4, and number 10 is Eastern at 8-2. So, Mark, before I go on to the softball side, kind of give me your thoughts on that a little bit.
Well, I can speak about our 13th region teams for sure. Corbin and Clay right there, 7-9. And again, folks, all of these rankings are there's no professionals. It's always judgmental based. There's a thing called RPI that you could put more of the mathematics parts of it in that, but even the RPI could sort of cheat on you a little bit considering head-to-head competition you played, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But all in all, I mean, what I know about Bowling Green, it would be really, really hard to argue with that. And but now Corbin at 7, that's solid. And anybody watch Corbin, and I'm gonna use my 13th region bias, but folks, Corbin beat anybody in the state of Kentucky, and they could do it. They prove it on the big stage. That team is loaded. They're built. Their time is now. You know, you hear in the NFL, uh, that window of opportunity. That window of opportunity is open for Corbin right now. It's there. It's there for their group. And it doesn't matter about what falls in place, how it falls in place. But whoever comes out this 13th region, remember, we've got the defending state champions out of this region. And they're going to have a little bit of a say so on it themselves. And then, Clay County, you got a Louisville commit. Corbin, you've got a Louisville commit. There's some big players in this stuff. And whoever can get out of the 13th region is going to be a major player in the state.
I have to agree with you 100%. But now, moving to this next one. This is the Bryant's Family Medicine All Sports Media statewide softball top 10 ranking. And you got at number 1 is South Warren at 15-1. Number 2 is Male at 9-2. Number 3 is McCracken County at 11-3. 4 is Lawrence County at 13-0. 5 is Henderson County at 13-1. 6 is Ballard at 7-0. 7 is Lexington Catholic at 8-1. 8 is LaRue County at 14-3. 9 is Hazard at 10-0. 10 is South Laurel at 8-4. So, Mark, kind of give me a little bit of your thoughts there.
Well, of course, when you got Kenzie Williams on the mound, you can compete with anybody. Bottom line, saw LaRue County first say it, and I don't know if I should let the cat on the bag, or you're going later on down the road. You've got LaRue scheduled, right, Edwards?
Yeah, hopefully, possibly next week.
Okay, I won't let the cat out too bad, but I seen them firsthand. Wow, folks, they're really good. They're really good, and again, I would be lied to if I told you I know a whole lot more about any of these teams. But what I've seen LaRue, if there's 8 teams better than them in the state of Kentucky, there's a lot of really good softball teams in this state because LaRue folks are really good.
I mean, I have to agree with you. You've got LaRue County. We watch them, firsthand, and we know exactly what they can do. And again, I'm not going to let the cat of the bag out either until hopefully next week. But regardless whoever plays them, they're going to have a tough out against LaRue County.
Yes.
It's not going to be no easy matchup.
Nope.
And I've followed Hazard, quite heavily here this season. And if I'm not mistaken, they are still a perfect 10-0, and they have played a lot of good competition. And they've also got, if I'm not mistaken, a 8th grade pitcher that is pitching in the 63, 64 on her pitch. So, and that's just an 8th grader. That whole team is still super young, so that's a team to look out for also. And like you said, when you got Kenzie Williams on the mound, yeah, you can't go wrong there, no matter who you're playing. And I have looked into a little bit of these other teams also. You have South Warren, Male, McCracken County, Lawrence, and Henderson County. That, from what I've seen, that their defense and pitching is top notch there, Mark.
Well, like I said, you put more work in that than I have. I'm more 13th region based, and but I could solidify your comments about LaRue County. There's not much weaknesses in that team at all, and they got the pitching, they've got the hit, and they've definitely got the hit. That's as much as I'm going to say about that. But it's hard. I mean, it's hard not to see what they did, and that's that's going to be and when you take LaRue County, it goes back to the baseball state championships last year. If it wasn't for the throw heard around the world, changed the whole state tournament. if it was for D. Parker's drove to home plate, might have changed the whole state tournament. Now, I'm not going to go into details with that, but Whitley was on the ropes. And who knows if that game would have went an extra inning and how the pitching would have felt, how it would have fell in place. Um, who knows? There's a lot of ifs. But the one drove to home plate, won the game. Whitley beat LaRue. And, you're looking at LaRue's baseball team being that good, LaRue's softball team. They've got it going on up there.
I mean, I agree with you 100%. And before we sign off, I want to get your final thoughts, and we'll go from there.
The season, it's like life, Edward. Season's going by really, really fast. It's hard not to look at them schedules and say, "Wow, the regular season's over next month, about the middle of next month or so, a little bit." Then of course, you go district, region, state, stuff like that. But it's really, blink of eye, it's over with, and sort of like life. Things move way too quickly. Uh, Lord knows, I wish I could just bring every player on every team on these shows, and every one of these student athletes deserves every minute. And it just anytime we feel like we failed somebody, it's hurtful. It's hurtful, and we know when you look back at it and say, "Hey, uh, we should have got this on. We should have got that one on. We should have got that one on." But there's not enough. That old saying, not enough time today. They're just not, and but every one of these two athletes deserves every moment, every minute, everything we could do for them.
I have to agree with you 100%. The student athletes do all the work, but we just do the easy part. I'd love to get every player from every team statewide, on these shows and get to talk to them and try to promote them. And speaking of promoting, you know, first off, I want to thank Bryant's Family Medicine for allowing us to be able to do what we do. Without them, what we do wouldn't be possible.
Yeah, and
And
if I don't get to feeling better, I'm gonna be visiting Bryant's Family Medicine really, really soon because they'll take care of me. They'll get me lined out.
they absolutely will. And I got to say, I loved both interviews with both student athletes we had on, Madison and Emily. And I'm looking forward to next week's show. And hopefully, where they had that rescheduling of their district game. Hopefully, we can get Tristan on next week. And but for everybody here at the Bryant Family All Sports Media, I want to tell you all good night and God bless.